sa isa na namang session natin dito sa QCAFE, your favorite online tambayan, tuwing Wednesdays at 8 p.m. here at Muzen Core. Ayan, sobrang excited ako guys for tonight's session because we have a very inspiring woman who will be talking to us about her life, her business, and everything else in between. Ayan, so our speaker for today is a content creator, an entrepreneur, and the proud Morena behind Morena the Label, a brand that celebrates sun-kissed skin and challenges colorism in the Philippines. She is one half of the Camp Confidence Radio podcast and is known as Ayn Pero Tagalog on TikTok, where she produces bite-sized English lessons that aim to make language learning a little less intimidating for beginners. Ayn is an advocate for women empowerment, self-development, and education. So I do hope you check her out. Her YouTube account is amazing. She has really amazing content as well as her Instagram. Sobrang, it's really amazing. I've seen her feed, sobrang ganda. So without further ado, let me welcome to you on our Q Cafe stage, Ayn Bernos. Hi, Ayn.
Hi, Kate. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, really excited for you to come and join us and talk to us about your brand, what you do for women. Sobrang inspiring to have women like you create brands for morenas like us. Diba? Sobrang rock on talaga. Sobrang iba kasi talaga, diba? We've always been introduced with products talaga na westernized and whatnot. So it's really empowering to really have women like you cater to the needs of women like us, diba? Anyway, so hindi ko na pahabain pa ang introduction na to. We're really excited to see what you have in store for us. Dahil alam kong fun-filled and information yung grabe yung magiging marireceive namin tonight. So, take it away, Ayn.
Thank you so much, Kate. Okay, so I want to greet everyone. Good evening. Hi. Thank you to those who are tuning in on Facebook Live. I guess I'm seeing some of you guys. I just wanted to say hi. Hi, Tin, Jessa, Nika, Ivana, right? And everyone here on the Zoom chat as well, on the Zoom room. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was very last minute. I didn't know Zoom was available for everybody, but here we are. Thank you. And tonight I want to share with you the Morena story and how Morena the Label came to be. Because like what Kate said, Morena the Label is really all about empowering Filipinas, and that is one of the main reasons why I decided to start it in the first place. But some of you guys know me from social media, from TikTok. So I kind of want to share with you this side of life and why this is so important to me. So first of all, this whole thing was 6 years in the making officially. Of course, like the whole Morena journey started from when I was very young, but it all started, Morena the Label itself started when I wrote my thesis in my senior year in college. I was this girl on the left side of your screen. This was me, long hair, brown hair, dyed hair. Oh my gosh, hindi pa ako marunong mag-makeup and stuff. But I had a passion for, empowering people who looked like me. Because one of the reasons why I was so frustrated with the beauty standards in the Philippines was it kind of felt like I couldn't be proud of myself. And I didn't like that. I started thinking, why can't I be beautiful in my own way? Like why did I have to limit myself because of my skin color? Or why did I have to make my beauty sound conditional? Bakit maganda lang ako kapag hindi ako nagpaitim sa beach, I started questioning those things. And once I started questioning them, I realized that I also wanted to do something about it. And the great thing about living in this day and age of social media is that we don't have to stay put. The good thing about social media is that it's available to almost everybody. As long as you have access to internet, then you have a platform and you have a voice. And so even though I didn't really have like a fan base, I didn't really have like any connections to famous people, I said to myself, you know what? If YouTube is free to use, then I might just start that. So I started doing YouTube. But before that, I guess I want to introduce you to this girl before anything else. So as you can see, this is young Ayin. Young Ayin, very shy. You can see it in my posture, the way that I carry myself, the way that I smile, very, very shy. And the reason is partly because I was insecure of my skin color. I was really, contemplating why I'm treated differently, or like why I see myself differently. And I carried that until I was older. My skin color was something that I was very, very self-conscious about. And I just didn't want to feel that way anymore. And so everything I do, I always look back at this young brown girl and I think to myself, what kind of example would I have needed when I was younger? Like, I want to be the ate, the businesswoman. I want to be the content creator that this little girl should have needed or really needed when I was younger. So hopefully everything that I do, it's really for the future generation of Morena, so they don't have to feel this way, so that they feel they're good enough by default and that they are not hindered by their skin color. Because look at me. I mean, I look the same. I feel like I look the same. I have the same nose. I have the same chubby cheeks. I have the same everything. I have the same color. The only difference is now I'm confident. But what if I was confident then? What if I realized that my skin was beautiful then? I can just imagine what I could have done with that kind of confidence. So I always think about the little brown girl every time I make decisions, not just for myself, but also for Morena the label. So then when I was in college, I wrote my thesis called Language and Colorism, Beauty Ideologies and Pons Philippines YouTube Advertisements. Now this thesis is available online. So if you want to read this for your studies or for your research, if you're into colorism or critical discourse analysis or just linguistics in general, or if you're just curious, you can find this online. It's free to download. But basically, what I learned through this study is that we use language not to create the harmful beauty ideologies, because those ideologies have been around ever since, like centuries back. I mean, a lot of this is highly influenced by colonialism, colonization, whatever, our cultural background as Filipinos and all of the different influences. We have the Korean beauty standard. So, there are so many influences that really affect the way that we see beauty. But language is something that helps maintain it. So then I thought, if we use language to maintain the idea that fair skin is maganda, mayaman, and brown skin is hassle or like pagod or unattractive, if we can use language to maintain those harmful standards, then we can also use language to what? To challenge these beauty standards and to maybe even change them. So that's why I was so empowered to start talking about this. So after this thesis, I published my first article on Rappler. It was just an opinion piece. And then after that opinion piece, I started a YouTube channel where I started creating Morena Beauty videos. And then later on, because I wanted to create my own, business based off of this, I wanted to create merch, not just for myself, but for the community that we were building online. So what I loved about Morena the label is it was never about me as a creator. It was about the people who wanted to feel good about themselves, who wanted to be, for the first time, part of something bigger. The thing is, when I was younger, I thought that I was experiencing this alone. I thought that I was alone in the struggle of being a Morena. I thought it felt really isolating because we don't talk about it that much in the Philippines. It's like we just laugh at ourselves, like when people laugh at us and when people joke about our skin color, oftentimes we've been trained to kind of just nod, accept it, and laugh again because we don't want to be picon, right? And so deep inside, it felt isolating because I felt like I couldn't really talk to anybody. So that's why when we started Morena the label, and by we I mean I started Morena the label. Like, I like to think of it as a big team community thing, but really when it was starting, it was just me and my computer. But of course, we all start somewhere small. We all start small at one point, and I'm really proud of our beginnings. So slowly and but surely, our our project was getting somewhere. People started discovering Morena the label. At first, it was through Instagram, and then at one point, we were able to tap other influencers to wear this shirt, and then slowly we were able to really grow this community, and that's something I still take pride to this day, because we have a Facebook group, for example, called Kayumanggi Club. And every day I would read stories about these morenas, these beautiful morenas and morenos, finally embracing their skin color for the first time. You know, I see them wearing the shirts, and I see them empowered, and I see them smile with confidence. And how can we not benefit from that? We have a whole group of people who are finally discovering their power and their potential, and they are no longer hindered by their skin color, which is such an essential part of their lives. And so that's why I feel like, even though to a lot of people, Morena the label is just a t-shirt, to us, Morena the label was the very first excuse to be proud of their skin color, to be vocal about it, to be able to show it off on social media in order to, accentuate our skin instead of lighten it. And that is a very powerful thing to have, that sense of pride. And that's what our t-shirts bring. And I'm really proud of that. Confidence is contagious. That's what I always say, because whenever I feel like I need to, put myself out there, be a confident Morena, we don't just do that for ourselves. When we put ourselves out there and we're confident, we inspire people who look like us, who have the same background as us. And we're living proof that these things are possible. For example, when I was younger, I had one Morena role model on TV, and that was Bianca Gonzalez. Everybody else, like, she was the one I can relate to because she was the young, fun VJ, and I wanted to be like her. But more than that, she also looked like me, and she was very vocal about loving her skin color. And it made me think, maybe I'm capable of that too. I want to be capable of that too. I want to be the kind of person who can stand in front and just openly say that I like myself. And so confidence is contagious. If one person can openly say that and another person sees themselves in them, then confidence is, passed on. It's like a ripple effect. I see a confident girl who looks like me, therefore I must be able to harness that same confidence too. And that's really all I want to do with the platform that I currently have, with TikTok, with YouTube, with public speaking, with Morena the label especially. All I want people to know is that if they see me and that I am doing any of this, if I'm pursuing any of my passions openly, it's not because I'm special. It's because we are all capable of it. And all we really have to do is to accept that we have that potential and to pursue that potential. Again, confidence is contagious. And again, confidence goes a long way. Sometimes confidence is all we need to really start. And if we're hindered by our skin color from seeing that confidence, then how are we ever going to open up our minds that we're capable of that too? The other day, I got a comment on TikTok, which I still find hilarious, because I posted a video of me doing an impromptu speech at Toastmasters. And I got a comment saying, you're not actually good, you're just confident. And I was there thinking, why do you say that like it's a bad thing? I'm confident. That's an amazing thing. You just paid me a compliment, but I guess he thought it was an insult. But I'm proud of the confidence, because the confidence that I have was cultivated after years and years of self-doubt. It was cultivated after years and years of, getting confidence from other people and being inspired by other people. And so, well, yes, there are so many skills that I've yet to improve. There is so much that I've yet to improve, but just having that confidence and embracing my ability to be confident has allowed me all of these opportunities. And that same confidence is available to everybody as well. I honestly believe that confidence is a state of mind, and it's kind of like a muscle that we can exercise, that we can all get better at. So yeah, I just want to continue sharing that journey through Morena the label and through social media, so that others can tap into their potential as well. Like, we really, I just imagine what the world will be like if everybody did what they wanted to do, did what made them happy, and had just peace of mind and confidence that they deserve to be where they are. Would be so nice. So now this is Morena the label. I really love going through our tag photos, because when I was younger, I did not know where to look. I didn't know where to look when I wanted to see a confident Morena. If I wanted to find inspiration, I would go to one person. I would look at Bianca Gonzalez in the magazine, and that was one person. But now I scroll through the Instagram feed of Morena the label, and I see all of these fun, amazing, beautiful, confident Morenas who are just unapologetic about their skin color. And for the first time in my life, I see like a community of people who look like me, who are making things happen, who don't apologize for being who they are. And it inspires me right back, because that's exactly the kind of person that I also want to be. And we feed off of each other's energy in that way. The more confident Morenas we see, the more validated we feel that maybe we can be like them too. So I'm really proud of that. I feel like out of everything, this is the thing that I am most proud of. Bringing together a community of women and men who finally are vocal and proud of their skin color. So here, the freedom to go after opportunities comes from knowing that we are good enough by default. That's why I feel very strongly about letting the younger generation know that they are good enough just by being themselves. Because when we know that we are good enough, then we go after the things that we want. And everybody deserves to go after what they want. They deserve to dream and believe that that's possible. We all deserve to go after opportunities, and we all deserve to feel good enough by default. Again, the skin that we are in is something that we will have for the rest of our lives unless we get it fixed, through surgery or like physical alteration. I don't know what that's called exactly, whitening. And that's okay if you're coming from a place of love. But if it's coming from a place of fear and mockery, if it's because you were pressured by society, then that's a difficult way to live, to not be able to fully embrace who we are. And so we have Morena the label here because it's evidence that we are allowed and we should feel good enough by default, that we are good enough by default. So if there's anything that I learned while I was working on Morena the label, oh wow, I just closed my screen and I saw 19 people in the chat, in the Zoom group. I didn't realize there were so many people here already. Oh my gosh, hi guys. Anyway, if there's anything that I learned through Morena the label, it's that you don't need a huge following to make an impact. You just need to be true to your mission, and eventually it'll show. Eventually, people will see what you're working towards, and if they resonate with that mission, they will help. Because again, I started this from like my room and my laptop, but because of word of mouth and people sharing their own stories, people wanting to collaborate, people spreading the word about us, then we were able to, you know, inch our way closer and closer to our goal, which is to, you know, bring people together. And I think that's what we currently are doing. Still a long way to go, still a long way to go, but we've already come a long way as well. And that is something that we are proud of. So I guess that's it for me, and we'll proceed to like a little Q&A session or something. Thank you, Kate.
My gosh, I am really so happy with our session tonight. I mean, I was listening to you and I really felt like the little girl in me. Sabi ko, oh my gosh, sana I had this person when I was at that age. Kasi growing up, sobrang negra ko. Kasi like, nakatira ako malapit sa dagat. So, alam mo yun.
Yes.
First, talagang hindi mo maiiwasan. Ito na yung balat ko. And I would always be, alam mo yun, yung lola ko, kinikis-kis niya ako ng kalamansi.
Oh my God, that's wonderful.
I even had a moment in my life when I said na ayoko nang pumuti, mahapde.
Oh my gosh, that's so
and
sad.
Something that my cousin, while she was growing up as well, she had she also really parang this also happened to her. Kasi matanda ko sa kanya ng like 5 years, and then when she was young, ganun din ginagawa sa kanya.
Oh my God.
Kailangan mong pumuti kasi masyado kang negra. Ganon.
Yeah,
so, oh my gosh. So I remembered everything when I heard you share your story. Yeah, I think my internet is acting up.
Hopefully, hindi na ganun for the future generation. That's why we're starting this conversation today. That's why we have this conversation today. Para, you know, like no Morena kid should have to go through that, what we went through.
Yes. We need to change the narrative talaga.
Exactly.
We need to change it so that the future generation wouldn't feel ashamed of their skin color, wouldn't judge people just because of what's outside. And I would like to commend you for the platform that you're, for your platform, for what you do. Kasi like you said nga, it's really important that people na the generation now can look up to. And I think you have built yourself to be that person, and your brand is also helping that. And I would like to ask you for our first question for tonight, like, what do you feel really makes Morena beautiful?
I feel like it's not just being Morena, because we're definitely more than our skin color, but maybe it's our shared experiences, you know, being able to earn and cultivate confidence despite the standards that we have in the society. It takes a lot of, you know, self-reflection. It takes a lot of real power to overthrow the beauty standards that we grew up with. So I don't think that Morenas are or like really that much different from fair skinned people. I feel like there's beauty in all types of colors, shapes, sizes. But what we were able to endure and overcome, that I think that's special, you know, like we have our own story. I always look at the Kayo Manggi Club Facebook page and I see people's stories, and I realized that, oh my gosh, I really wasn't alone experiencing that. So just having that collective experience of being a Morena, I think that makes us a little special because we're connected in that way. We shared those stories, we share those experiences, and we are overcoming them together as well.
Okay. Can you share with us, your, like, when was that moment that you thought na parang, okay, hindi na tama to. I need to speak up. I need to be actively doing something about this issue. When was that, and that what was the actual action that you did?
It was really my thesis. Actually, when I was thinking of a topic for that, I knew that I had to work on this paper for an entire year. And I realized that if I wasn't passionate about the topic, I wouldn't be able to
First
survive
time.
here. Yeah, like it was an individual paper and I needed to do it myself. So I was like, okay, if I don't like the topic, I'm not going to do it. I just knew how I was as a student and I wasn't going to do it if I didn't like it. So that's why I decided to research colorism. And the more that I learned about it, the more glaringly obvious how people treated dark skin differently, the more that I wanted to do something about it. And so I worked on my paper. And then after that, I presented it, and there was just so much pride. Honestly, like one of my biggest regrets was losing the phone that I used to record my thesis defense. Because my thesis defense was the very first time I presented about Morena pride, about colorism. And that was just such a big moment for me because I had my professors, nodding and clapping for me. I had my family there. I actually invited my family to my defense. I had my classmates there. I had people from the lower batches join and watch the defense as well because I was proud of that paper. I was really proud of my work and I wanted everybody to know about it. So I guess the main action was for the first time accepting that I was the expert in this area and just living up to that. Like I was just like, you know what? Watch me defend this and watch me excel. And true enough, like I was I was nominated for best thesis. It was I loved it. That's when I realized that I needed to continue what I started when I was graduating, and 6 years later that's still what I'm doing.
Grabe. Sobrang empowering yan. I mean, especially for people who feel na they're too young to achieve anything. 'Di ba? This is like a wake-up call for those people na if you really have something that you want to fight for, you should just really put your entire energy and then your intention on it and then really do something about it. Actively do something towards that goal. Ayan. So, another question I have for you here is that we have a question from Via. Okay. Is meditation a component in building self-confidence, self-love, and self-acceptance?
Oh, I love that. I think it's because I usually talk about meditation in videos and like the podcast. So for me, meditation doesn't have to be, because I feel like the misconception with like people have about meditation is that it's like the yoga, zen, that kind of thing. But to me, the reason why meditation is important is because it gives me time to clear my mind and to just be intentionally away from the world, and it really gives me clarity. And clarity, I think it's not really meditation per se that's important to self-confidence. It's clarity. It's being able to detach yourself from what's going on around you and being able to find balance, to ground yourself. And so if you can find that in other ways, like it doesn't have to be meditation, maybe you find it in exercise, maybe you find it in journaling, whatever method you have at finding balance and clarity, go do that. But for me, like I love meditation because it's one of the ways that I can calm down and really exercise my constraint, because I feel like I'm just like always overthinking. So being able to calm down and meditate has been helpful to me. But yeah, thank you.
I would also like to add to that because it was only until recently, because of the pandemic, that I was forced to practice meditation. Because we live in a world that's so fast-paced. You have to finish a lot of things para masabing productive ka.
Yeah.
And that thing has really, parang yun lang yung naging mundo ko. And because of the pandemic, I was able to slow down. The first few months on lockdown, I mean, the first few days pa nga lang when the world was really quiet. Alam mo yun, when the sky cleared up. Kasi wala nang mga usok galing sa mga sasakyan and all that. That was the first time that I realized na I needed to pause.
Grabe
And
talaga.
this is something na I do right now, na I practice talaga. And it really adds up.
Mhm. Oh no, Kate, we lost you. Kate, I think we
I'm
lost
so
Kate.
sorry, my
Wait a
internet. Oh my gosh.
sec. Oh, it's okay. I got to. We heard the rest of it. Don't worry. There you go.
Am I back?
You're back. You're back. I mean, we heard it, but you just weren't moving. It's okay.
Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. Anyway, ito talaga. I mean, feeling ko ito na talaga yung dialogue din natin. Can you still hear me? Can you still see me?
That is 2021 after all. I mean 2020, 2021. This is our life now.
The era of, am I still on?
uh, but yeah,
Anyway, yeah, do we have, okay, we'll wait for your questions. If you guys have questions, feel free to drop sound off on the comments below. We'd love to hear what you want Ayn to answer. And before that, I have a question here that says, how were you able to overcome our cultural stereotype of beauty? Now, this is big.
gosh, it's really difficult because I can't really pinpoint where at what point I stopped because I remember when I started working as like a social media content creator, and that meant like sometimes I would get modeling jobs, but not like as a rap model. It was more of like an ad, like a commercial, but not really. Like I don't want to call myself a commercial model because that's really not what I am. But like I would go to video shoots and photo shoots with people who looked like the typical beauty standard, like mestiza, beautiful. And sometimes, well, not anymore, not today, because I feel like I've finally overcome it. But I remember during my earlier years, even with Morena the label as one of like it was already up and running, but I was still feeling self-conscious. Not because I felt like I wasn't good enough, but because I felt like other people were looking at me and comparing me and thinking that I wasn't good enough. I was more scared then that people were looking at me and were maybe thinking that I didn't deserve to be there. And so I worked really, really hard to detach my it wasn't really the standard of like the society standards of beauty. It was me detaching my self-worth from beauty itself. So it wasn't just overcoming like the Western beauty standards. It was really unlearning the need to attach my self-worth to like just my beauty or my physical appearance. So, I learned to focus on other things. I learned to build my skills in like public speaking, of course, and then business. And then I started learning other stuff. I started focusing on relationship building. And once I was able to do that, get out of that original idea that beauty was paramount, I realized that I was also capable of finding the good in all the other areas of my life. And I didn't need to compare myself anymore. I didn't need to feel to I didn't feel the need, sorry. I didn't feel the need to like think about what others are thinking. If they're comparing me or whatever, I didn't really care at that point because I realized that it didn't really matter. If I was in a place, like if I was in a room, it's because I deserve to be there. And that
Yeah.
was a good enough explanation for me.
Yeah, that's really amazing. I mean, grabe talaga. Sobrang affirming ng sinasabi mo. Sobrang affirming ng ginagawa mo. Kasi, oh my gosh, like, thank you for being a voice of reason. I remember what my experience when it comes to like, coming out of the stigma that Morena is pangit. It was when I decided for myself that even though I'm a little chubby, tapos negra pa ako, I will go and flaunt that body on a swimsuit. So
Yeah.
I was in a beach. I was in a beach and nagtupis ako. Regardless what the people will say na parang, oy, mataba siya and everything. No, I went out talaga. I mean, I was thankful I wasn't with family though kasi definitely they would, But yeah, But yeah, we
One
need
day.
confidence talaga. Yun talaga yung kailangan natin gawin. Na we need to love the body that we are in. And we have an interesting question here from Laura Sal. She says, how did you start Morena the label from the materials down to other stuff? So I think this is medyo technical.
Yeah. So yeah, let me walk you guys through the e-commerce side naman of the business because you guys know the story. But from what I did kasi, I don't know, I was employed, so I had a little bit saved up, but I was a fresh grad, so I didn't really have a lot of capital to pour into the business. And I didn't really know where to get capital anyway. So what I did was I tried to find, because I heard that there was a thing called, and I should know this. It's at the back of my, what's
Funding?
that? Print on demand. Sorry, this is ridiculous because that's my business. So print on demand. So print on demand is what it's called. So naghanap ako ng print on demand na business that can host Morena the label. Kasi print on demand means you just put up the design, like you have the mock-ups, and then once an order comes in, they print it and then they ship it out to the customer. So that means on my end, wala talaga akong capital na kailangan for inventory. So what I did was I did my research. I Googled heavily, like I heavily researched this. Like naghanap ako ng supplier na can do print on demand. And then I applied to be part of that platform, which ended up being Shirtly. So shirt.ly if you guys want to check it out. But so I applied for Shirtly and then that's when I started selling. So ang pinakapuhunan ko lang was the photo shoot, like having the photos so I can, market it. The initial, yung parang sample inventory na susuotin ng models. And then, yeah, that was about it. I paid for the photographer, the makeup artist, the studio, t-shirts.
And what year was this?
This was in 2018. Tapos after nun, once I was able to start that, nung meron akong kinita from there, I was able to put it back into the business. So it was a very, very slow growth na talagang like every time I get something or like may sweldo ako, then I'll pour it into the business. I'll earn a little bit and then may sweldo ako, pour it back to the business. It's definitely still like a work in progress, pero what really got me started was being able to use my research skills to find what kind of opportunities are out there, especially with the internet. Everything that I know, I learned through the internet. So that's why I really, really believe now if people put in the time and the effort to search, they will find the answers.
Are you earning right now with all your engagements online?
Yes. So I am like now a content creator and I do have like brand deals now, especially after TikTok started blowing up. So
congratulations on your 1 million followers on TikTok pala.
Oh yes. I hit 1 million today. Oh my god.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's ridiculous. I can't believe that was ever possible. Because actually, just to give you a background, I've been creating content since I was like 2016. I started my YouTube channel in 2016 and I never was able to make it like a full-time job until like 2 months ago.
So right now you don't have anything else. It's just your platform and then your brand.
Well, not really. Okay, I still have the business because I started Ideology Studio, which is now the printing studio. So I print my own shirts now. Thank you. Yeah, after moving back from Spain, because I got another job in Spain. Again, like I'm the ultimate raquetera. I see an opportunity and I go for it. I don't care what's gonna happen. Like I just want to keep grabbing opportunities. So then I went to Spain to teach English. And then after that, I saved up a little bit, moved back home, and then started the printing business. So I took Morena the label from Shirtly, and then I started my own printing biz. And then after that, that's what I've been doing for the last like almost 2 years now. And recently lang ako parang nag-start to earn from content creation in a sustainable manner. Because before it was more of like, like project here, project there, but it was never a stable thing. So ngayon lang because of TikTok.
Which
Oddly
is
enough.
really good. I mean, I love how TikTok supports small business. Kasi they have this like hashtag of small business TikTok. Tapos ang
Yeah.
galing talaga. Like,
Yeah.
super amazing talaga how it supports like local businesses. We have here an interesting question as well. Sabi niya dito, meron ka bang tips on overcoming overthinking? O, diba? Over.
Ooh, wait, where's that? Overcoming overthinking. I love that. Oh, it's from Jessa. Hi, Jessa. Jessa's in all of my like live chats. Ganyan. I always see Jessa. Hi, Jessa. So, how do I overcome overthinking? So, if you guys didn't know this, I have anxiety. So, and I'm really like, I try to talk about it openly because I want it to be a normal thing. And it doesn't have to be something that inhibits us or stops us from being able to do the things that we want. So, what I do is of course, I manage it by number one, having a structure around what I need to do. So, for example, for work, I have a to-do list, like a proper to-do list, categorized. My calendar is scheduled. I have everything planned so that at the very least, I can eliminate that part of worrying. Like I don't have to worry about my schedule and my plans and my to-do lists
Yeah.
because I have them planned out. So that's nababawasan siya. And then what else do I overthink about? I overthink about my future, of course, just like everybody else. But then I think I've adopted the mindset na to enjoy the present. And it's easier said than done. But the thing is, I've learned to craft a present that I'm happy with. Because if we live in the future, diba, it's difficult. If you always think about the future and if you're just looking forward, if you're not enjoying your current life, then you will continue overthinking. But the thing is, I've found ways to just enjoy my everyday. For example, like I found hobbies that I actually enjoy, like climbing, rock climbing, yung mga ganong stuff. So I look forward to today. I look forward to tomorrow. I don't have to overthink about what's going to happen in 5 years because today, right now, is pretty good too. So having that like gratitude mindset and being busy with current stuff that's in front of me, that has really helped me manage all the worries. And I just know na parang future Ayin will take care of it. It also helps to kind of, how do I say this? Exercise self-trust. Kasi, so self-trust is just like any other relationship. When you have a good relationship with another person, it's because you trust that person. Now, it's the same with ourselves. Now, if you trust yourself, then you love yourself a little better, right? So for me, if I say I'm gonna do something, I make sure that I do it. Because otherwise, I will break my own trust. Paano ko pagkakatiwalaan sarili ko if I don't do the things that I say I'm gonna do? So over time, I don't mean na mabilisan lang to. This is not a one overnight thing. Like this was really like a decade. Yeah, as in talagang like every day, ayin, like please show up, please do better, please forgive yourself. But it was all about nurturing my relationship with myself and looking forward to be the kind of person in the future, whatever happens, she'll be able to deal with it kasi I did the work today. So ayun, so it's just sorry. I'm such a nerd about like self-development is I love reading about it. I just love it so much.
I really feel that this is something that should be natural to people. Self improvement. I mean, investing in yourself is the biggest investment you can ever do.
Mhm.
Especially like, going to webinars like this, going to webinars that would give you like, give you learnings. I mean, I love your TikToks. Alam mo yung bite-sized information talaga. Because,
See,
there are a lot of ideologies that we need to like slam. Marami talagang dapat talaga natin na nakalabanin, and really, it's really nice that you get to speak up like this and normalize conversations like this, especially about anxiety, the mental health. These topics kasi so taboo in our culture. I mean, people always equate it na kapag sinabi nilang there's something wrong with your mind, baliw agad. Na para bang baliw is always wrong. Na para bang, they have this misconception about it. Na parang hindi kasi nila naiintindihan. There's also the disconnect when it comes to, like, the older generation and then the generation nowadays. Kasi, di ba, of course, yung pinagkaiba ng sitwasyon nila noon sa sitwasyon
Yeah.
natin ngayon. So, those are the things na I feel talaga na we really need to regularly talk about, normalize in conversations that, hey, you have anxiety. Hey, why don't you try grounding techniques? I mean, I love those, especially when you're overthinking. Grounding techniques help. You can go and research that over on YouTube. There are a lot of techniques talaga that would really help you to, like, lower down your anxiety or at least manage them. Yun talaga at the end of the day, we manage. So
Yeah, and like another thing is, parang we don't have to treat it as if it's like such an absurd thing na talagang like, oh my gosh, alam mo yun, like the reason why I just want to be myself and not really make like anxiety kind of my personality, but it's just that, yeah, I'm just another person online who has anxiety, but look at me, I'm also doing other stuff. So part of normalizing it is just acting just like the way that I would act as if I don't have it. I'm just me. It just so happened that I also have anxiety, but yeah, just living our lives, and we can continue to live our lives like
we
this.
shouldn't really let this define us, like we shouldn't let our color define us, diba? So
Exactly.
it's just basically that.
Mm.
And we just really have to know it in our core. This is why brain dumping is something that I really found effective. And I do this, if not every day, kasi, life happens. Pero at least in a week, I try to brain dump. And when I say brain dump, that's when you, like, take a notebook, o kaya you can do it on your computer or phone. You list down everything that's in your mind. You don't need to categorize it right now. Just list them down, everything. To-do list man yan, o kaya whatnot, maybe bilin or whatnot. So that in the future days, you know how to schedule it. So this is a small tip talaga na I also learned in a webinar. Kaya I'm super happy talaga with the
Love
pandemic and all that.
webinars.
It's all, I've been in like countless Zoom calls for the past year, like more than 1,000 talaga. I mean, hindi siya OA, talagang legit. Almost every day talaga, merong dalawa, tatlo, apat in a day. So yeah. So for our final question here, let's take the question of Marielle. Why is it sometimes we feel empty for no reason?
I feel like it's because we're human. I feel like, this is something that I feel like everyone goes through this, and
Yeah.
we don't talk about it enough. That's why we feel like there's something wrong with us, or we're the only ones that feel that way. But this maybe to ease your mind a little bit, I feel that way too. But at the same time, when this happens, don't feel like, or don't think that there's something wrong with you. It
Mm.
that's just that's just how it is. But what we can do is to sit with that feeling, evaluate ourselves, see like what is the root cause of this empty feeling. Did something happen? Did something trigger me? Is there something that bothers me that I haven't accepted yet? Is there something that bothers me that I haven't really verbalized? Once you dive deep into the root cause, then we can do something about it. That's why, again, I highly like recommend getting to know yourself, and like meditation or journaling, or just finding ways to develop your relationship with yourself. Because when you know the kind of person that you are, you know how you react to things, you know the reasons for these empty feelings, then you can start working on it. To me, when this happened, yung mga ganyan nga, syempre, I had to, I went to therapy, I read up on self-development, I learned a lot of things on my own, and over time, I was able to pinpoint the things that make me happy, the things that make me feel alive. And, we work towards that every day and every day.
Yeah. Okay. So just to wrap up, any message to your fellow Morena and Morenos? Okay, it's not just us girls here that we're boosting. Okay,
Mhm.
so to boost their confidence with their own color. So your message for them.
Well, I think I just want to say that, you know, we all have potential and we all have the opportunity to live our lives as fully as possible, and we shouldn't let something as, you know, as parang arbitrary as skin color, kasi parang okay, like how do we di ba ang weird now, we are hindered by something na hindi natin nakokontrol, na literally pinanganak ka like who gets to choose who gets to be dark, alam mo yun? So if
No.
it's not something that's in our control, like why should it hinder where we go? So if you don't if you feel like your skin color is holding you back, not giving you the confidence that you need, just know that confidence is something that we can cultivate. Like I
Yes.
said earlier, confidence is a muscle. And if we train it every day, we can and we will get better. And one day you'll look back and think, oh my gosh, why did I ever doubt myself? Why did I ever think that about myself? I'm amazing. And I hope you get to that point. And I'm rooting for you to get to that point. That's exactly why we do what we do and why I do what I do on social media, because I genuinely think everyone deserves that confidence. One of the things that I think is a disconnect like content creator celebrity world versus like the viewership is they think like these people who have a platform are special, but I'm telling you, tao lang sila. Everyone is this, like we're all the same. The only difference is nagkaroon lang ng ano, it's luck, it's their numbers, but at the end of the day, if you allow yourself to cultivate that confidence, you
Yeah.
just like you have more than you have more than enough potential and ability to achieve everything that we are currently working on. Like, yun yung mga sinasabi, how to be you po. You don't have to ask me how to be you po because you can be whoever you want to be and you are good enough. So, yeah.
Mismo. Okay. Thank you so much for all that pep talk. It feels like my inner girl, my inner little girl is like really celebrating and happy right now that there are a lot of like, you know, independent women who like are really confident right now, who are owning up to themselves talaga. And guys, if you want more of these, if you want talks like these and webinars like these, watch our next we have a segment on June 12th, the Heroes Summit. So Ayin is also one of our speakers for the summit. So I'm so excited for that. Just go ahead and visit Moose and Core Facebook page so that you will know the details about this summit. And it's really a good investment for yourself, for for like your future you. This is something that your future you will thank you for, because what you learn from these people who are already there can be like, you know, those little investments that would help you become the you that you want to be. So, Ayin, thank you so much na pinaunlakan mo kami tonight. And I'm so excited to binge watch your TikTok.
Thank you.
Kasi super like, I just watched one video kasi I was prepping nga for this talk. And I was like, oh my gosh, a girl after my own heart. So, thank you so much, Ayin, and to our viewers who are here with us on Zoom and on watching on Facebook. Thank you so much for taking your time and visiting us. So we are always live here on Muzen, your favorite online tambayan, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So my name is Kate. And this has been Ayin. We are so happy to have you here tonight, and we hope we earned the privilege of your time. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a great evening ahead. Make good choices.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.